Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Brigazoid's Den. I apologize once again. I do have a cold here going on, and I'm not in my usual recording place, but I am here to talk about Amphibia episode. What would it be, 11 now? I just recorded the Owl House episode, so I'm thinking it's 12, but it's 11. And this is two little segment episodes here, segment A and segment B. Of course, that's how Amphibia goes. They have little segment episodes that are 11 minutes long instead of just one half-hour episode. So we will be talking about both of those segments today in this video. And overall, I would say these are pretty good. They're definitely like little side stories about just trying to weaken King Andrias's forces more and more. And it was definitely it was a lot of fun. Now there I do have a little complaint that I'll get into at the end of the video here, but like I said, overall, very just fun little storylines. Nothing too big when it comes to like an overall arcing story or like anything with a lot of meaning or value. But it was just just a lot of fun little mission kind of episodes, and it brought us back into the world of Amphibia with the same characters that we spent time with over the course of 2 seasons. Because of course the first 10 episodes of season 3 were all on the Earth realm or human worlds, whatever. So now we are back with our characters from Wartwood, and we're kind of able to just get back into that groove, I guess, and seeing characters, returning characters from other episodes. So overall, really exciting, and I'm excited to get talking about these episodes here. The first little segment episode that I want to talk about here is called Commander Anne, and this is our first episode back in Amphibia, which is super exciting. So of course, last week's episode was about getting the portal started so that they could actually travel to Amphibia. Now we are officially in Amphibia and kind of exploring how King Andrias has changed the world here with all of his stuff that he's been putting out for taking over Amphibia and things like that for the core. So we start off with Anne and the Planters see Amphibia taking over by Andrias, just like we ended with the last episode last week. They're looking out into the distance and see kind of all this different crazy chaos and tyranny and things like that caused by King Andrias. And then Anne and the Planters see that Wartwood has been destroyed. So that was also very interesting to see the whole town or the whole little place has been completely destroyed, and which was really sad to see, I guess, because again we spent like 2 seasons in that area, so it is definitely an important place, and to see it all destroyed like this is pretty sad. So, and the planters are saved by the people of Wartwood from these like centipede creatures who are mind controlled by King Andrias, like collar things that have some sort of spore. I believe Sasha explained it, some sort of spore situation with a crystal inside of a crystal or something like that that controls the wildlife. So, as I just said, Anne and Sasha reunite, and the Resistance has been using the Planter family tunnels as their place of, or HQ, I guess, and it actually made it pretty wild. It's like an actual full civilization down there, which I'll talk about a little bit later here. But um, so Sasha gives Anne the responsibility of leadership of being the commander, because the whole idea was that Sasha only took over until Anne would show up, or if she did show up, and then Anne would become the new leader. So now Anne is the new commander, I guess, or person in charge. And we learn that Andrias, like I said, has been using collars to control the wildlife, but the planters, meanwhile, are trying to use human stuff in the world of Amphibia because they're not used to coming back to Wartwood and how gross it is, and how they want to use cell phones to watch stuff, and they want to have their own electric toothbrush and things like that. So yeah, I don't know. I talk about this a little later in the video here, but planters were kind of annoying these 2 episodes. I won't get too deep into it now. I'll talk about it, like I said, towards the end of the video here. But yeah, they're kind of annoying, a little bit. So the planters, like I said, keep wanting to use Earth stuff, and then after they leave, Grime comes in, and Grime disagrees with Sasha's decision to make Anne the new leader. So then Anne, we basically have to go on a mission where they have to take down the facility that is creating these mind control collars, and Anne takes charge on this mission. She leads her group very poorly, I think it was Miss Croker, um, Foggle, I think his name was, and then Wally as well. And then the planters, Anne and Sasha, go on this mission to take down the facility or destroy the facility that is creating these mind control collars. So Anne leads the group poorly with her Antuition, as they called it, and Sasha continuously wants to have Anne be the leader, even though Anne can't handle it. And then Anne gets the group eaten by a mind controlled snake thing at the facility as they're trying to destroy it. A mind controlled guard snake comes out and eats the whole group. So then Sasha does not want to be in charge because she last time she was in charge she ruined Anne, Marcy, and Sasha and herself friendship there. So that's her reasoning why she wants Anne to be in charge and not her, even though Sasha can lead better. So Sasha eventually takes charge after Anne throws herself into the snake's mouth with the rest of the group. So now Sasha, like I said, takes charge to defeat the giant snake, and the group destroys the mind-controlled crystal facility, and Sasha once again becomes the leader of the Warwood Resistance, which makes sense. I think Sasha belongs in the position of leader, and have Anne just kind of be a partner, as they said towards the end of the episode, along with Grime as well, who also has a fighting background. So yeah, now that was basically it for segment A there. We'll move on to segment B, which I think I liked segment A a little bit more, but this one was still okay. So for segment B of episode 11, I keep getting that mixed up in my head with Owl House and Amphibia, but segment B is called Sprivy, which of course is, the name for Sprig and Ivy. So basically, we start off with Sprig and Ivy walking through like the Resistance base in the Planters tunnels, and it seems like I said previously, it looks like they made like a whole civilization down there. There's like a restaurant that Stumpy owns, and there's like different shops and things like that. So really interesting how they made all that. And when they're all called to a meeting, we learn that people are kind of annoyed with Sprig and Ivy's relationship because they keep trying to use it to get things, like trying to get a seat at like the auditorium kind of situation or place, whatever, together, and it just kind of gets annoying. So the Resistance wants to destroy a laser cannon run by King Andrias and his guards and things like that. So Sasha puts together a group to go after and destroy this laser cannon, and that group is Sprig, Ivy, Stumpy, and Fern, I believe, and then obviously as well as Sasha, who doesn't really do much. She just kind of oversees the whole operation here. So the rest of the group, so while that group goes off to go destroy the laser cannon, the rest of the Resistance has a pinata party, and an Andrias pinata comes down from the ceiling, and they start destroying it. So that was kind of silly, but back of course with our team here. Sprig and Ivy use like this fake note that they got from Sasha, quote unquote, and it says that Sprig and Ivy have to switch partners because Sprig was going to be with Stumpy and Ivy was going to be with Fern, but they want to be together, so they ended up trying to find ways to do that, and they succeeded. So Sprig and Ivy go off to go look for or find and destroy the actual laser cannon, waiting for Stumpy and Fern to take down the shield generator, but they accidentally trip the security systems because Sprig and Ivy, like I said, wanted to switch up teams and be together. So Sprig, Stumpy, Ivy, and Fern, they end up reuniting, and they end up having to fight a giant Andrias crab bot that basically is the power source for the shield generator around the laser cannon. So they fight that thing, and Ivy and Fern work together to take it down, while Sprig and Stumpy proceed to blow up the laser cannon with explosive mushrooms, and Sprig fights like the reinforcement Andrias bots and things like that. So overall, it was a pretty cool looking scene, lots of fighting and action and things like that. And then at the end of the episode, Sprig and Ivy seem to agree that they maybe should kind of not be so annoying and maybe spend a little bit of time apart and not complain when they're apart for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So that was the end of the episode. Again, I think I like segment A a little bit better just because it was more story and, reuniting with Wartwood and things like that was great to see. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to get into this next discussion at the outro here, so here we go. So what I wanted to talk about was that these last two episodes, as in like the segment episodes here, the planters have been a little bit annoying. not like in a silly way, more just kind of. Well, I mean, I think it was intended to be silly, but to me, I don't know. It was just kind of like they kept complaining about like, oh, we need Earth stuff, and I get it. Like they were on Earth for a little bit, so they have all like electric toothbrushes and things like that. But it was just kind of annoying. And it kind of took me out of the episode at some points. I'm just like, all right, great. I get it that you're still trying to get used to Wartwood and whatever, and Amphibia, the world of Amphibia, but just kind of like don't have to do it so much. I don't know. It was just kind of a little gripe that I had with these last two segments, and that whole Sprig and Ivy thing really annoying. Those though, yeah. That I'm glad that that was settled by the end of the episode. That's like, yeah, we've been annoying, so we'll stop. But like, it was pretty bad. I was sitting there like, oh my god, all right, I don't really care. Just like move on. I want to see what actually happens in the episode. But I get the whole point of the episode was to stop Sprig and Ivy from like being annoying, I guess. But anyways, overall, like I said, the episodes were pretty good. They were very simple storylines, just trying to take down some of Andrias's bots and things like that, and different weaponry that he has. So yeah, I mean, overall, they were pretty okay. Just like that whole planters annoying thing kind of bugged me, and I hope it doesn't continue in the next episodes to come. But yeah, if you enjoyed that video, do the common YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.